Hey, hope you're having a good Tuesday. Thank you for joining me for today's 5 for 5. Back earlier this year, I got to go to the Passion Worship Conference with a group of our college students and spend a day and a half in worship and just praising the Lord and hearing out of His Word. And during that time, we were hiking and moving all around the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If you've never been there, it is one of the largest venues for an event like this. Over 60,000 college students were in this place, and this place that could really hold over 80,000 if it had been full to capacity. This huge place, we had to hike upstairs and climb all over the place just trying to find some seats among this huge crowd that we're with. Well, I had just this year gotten an Apple Watch, and one of the things that you see on an Apple Watch are these rings, and these rings will tell you how you're doing. And so today, so far, I'm doing pretty good here at the end of a Monday. And as I'm going through these days, each day, trying to complete my rings, trying to move enough, trying to get a little bit of exercise as I'm walking through the hallways of the church and doing my work, or trying to make sure I'm standing enough. And I've got my goals set as a person who's new for an Apple Watch there on the beginning of the year. But along in our group, we had others who had Apple Watches for a long time. Some of them are much younger than me, being college students. And one of the young ladies, she works out on a regular basis. She goes to the gym on a regular basis. And she's a teacher. She's on the move all the time, up on her feet all day long. And as we were going through each and every day, while I could complete my rings by 9 or 10 in the morning with this extra exercise burst that I was taking in over these days, going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and getting early starts and running upstairs and getting my heart pumping, she was barely closing her rings at midnight. And even some days kept wondering, when am I going to close my rings? Why is it not tracking anything I'm doing? Well, part of the problem was the exercise ring. Because in her case, she was in good shape and she was able to handle all this physical exercise we were doing, all these stairs we were climbing, without barely getting her heart rate elevated. It wasn't tracking it as exercise because she was already at a place where her heart rate was staying nice and calm, and just saw her as moving through a building. Well, it reminds me of the fact that all of us are in different places. Physically, we're all in different places, and we all have goals of the places we want to get to. But also spiritually, we're all in different places. And sometimes we need to look at ourselves and kind of look at the rings of our spiritual life and think about, where are we? Where does God want us to be? And how can I push myself just a little bit further? In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24, it says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run so that you might obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we are seeking an imperishable crown." Paul's talking to the Corinthians believers, and it's kind of like the Olympic Games that we've had going on right now. They had games like that in their region. They were like the Olympic Games from Athens, and these games, they would see the athletes competing for a wreath, for a crown. That would be a mark of their accomplishment and their work that they had done. Every athlete had to start right where they were. They had to go into training and set themselves goals and push themselves a little further as they all pushed for the same prize. In the Christian life, we are all pushing for the high calling of Jesus Christ that He's placed in our lives, ultimately to bring Him glory, to bring people into the knowledge of who He is, and into the relationship that He's given us as we call others to that same relationship. This week, I want to challenge you that we've got a training coming up, and maybe you are a believer who has never gone out and shared your faith. Maybe you're a believer who's never been one who's a disciple who makes disciples. Well, this week, we've got a specific training coming up called DGroup, Launch and Multiply. And it's a way to help you wherever you are, whether you've been in a discipleship group or whether you've heard us talk about them and just wondered, what are these things? To come and learn more about how you can be one-on-one with other believers to train each other in the faith. And as we do it together, as we encourage each other together, we're challenging each other to take it right where we are and take it a step further. Maybe in your life, 5-10 minutes is a good start for you because right now you're not giving much of your day to Jesus Christ any day. But maybe you need to get up in the morning and spend some time with Him. Maybe you're at a place where every morning you've gotten up for years and you've gotten into the Word. You've been in Bible studies. You've been preaching and you've been hearing from the Word in these preaching services. But maybe you need to take it further and share it with someone else at work or in your neighborhood. Wherever you are, examine those spiritual rings and see how you're doing at closing those goals. And see if God's calling you to make some adjustments in the goals that He's given you. See how God could lead you to become a disciple who makes disciples and to ultimately get involved in the high prize and the high calling that He's given to every one of us. Hope you have a great day today. Hope we can see you on Sunday night, this February 27th, 5 to 7 for DGroup Launch and Multiply. Have a great one.